welcome to the event. We're really happy that you're here. We're about to go live in just a few moments, but before we lift off, there's a few important things we want to make sure that you're aware of so you get the best possible experience out of this. First of all, the sound current is supremely important to us, the musical experience. So if possible, we really encourage you to use speakers or headphones to experience the class with. Second, if you have any pre-existing injuries, please take care of yourself, modify as you need to. Don't risk exacerbating an injury because of a yoga exercise. If you have any pre-existing medical conditions and you're not quite sure if this would be good for you, please consult with your primary healthcare practitioner and make sure it's the right thing for you. Also, make yourself relatively comfortable. You can use a cushion, and in fact, we encourage you in our seated positions, meditation practices, to use a cushion. It helps lift the heart up, keep the spine straight, and it's more ideal for the flow of energy in the body and for the meditation experience. You can even be sitting in a chair with feet flat on the floor for those of you that are unable to sit in a meditative sitting posture on the floor. Just use a chair, and for many of the exercises, that will work perfectly fine. And then lastly, if you're having any problems with the video streaming, try refreshing the page, or if you see a gear icon on the video, adjust your resolution. If you're new to this type of thing, just take care of yourself. If there's something that you don't quite understand, I wouldn't worry about it too much. Everything that needs to click will click after a few times of trying it out. Enjoy the experience. We're about to get started in just a moment. Hey, welcome everybody. Happy full moon. Thanks for being here. I'm grateful to be here with you in this special day, in a special year, definitely. One of those years we'll always remember. You know what I mean? Never will any of us be like, what was it that went on in 2020 again? No, this one's is creating an imprint. And so, while difficult times are never, wished for, they do come. And when they do come, then it's as if like nature is asking us to pay attention. And nature in really kind of the true comprehensive sense of that word, like everything, the living energy of life, not just nature as in like the ecosystem, but the living energy of life. That's kind of what it is we tune into when we do yoga practice, Dharma practices. That's what Dharma actually is. It's the living energy of life. And it moves through each of our lives in a very unique way. We all have a little bit of a different wiring system, different personalities. We come in with different karmas, different lessons to learn, different missions to pursue and accomplish. All of us, though, find that way that is unique for ourselves, our personal Dharma, by really tuning into the impersonal Dharma, the energy of life, as it vibrates and it exists in all things, in all people, in all beings. And we start to realize and witness and experience the interconnectedness of all things,
we recognize that how deeply intertwined our sense of happiness is, our lasting sense of happiness is with our genuine concern for the well-being of others, impartially. The more kind of partial we are for whom we wish happiness to and whom we don't wish happiness to, really to that certain degree does that more transcendent type of happiness get limited. Of course, this is hard work and it takes time, and it's not something that any of us can just do overnight, because we all have a mind, and a mind that has habits that have, certain momentums to them. And some of our habits have stronger momentums than other habits. We all may have some level of like narcissistic habits where it's a very kind of self-centered disposition that the psyche takes when that type of habit becomes predominant. And then we all have altruistic habits, giving habits that not only help our own happiness, our own health, our own well-being, our own peace of mind, but also within that, it includes the concern for others' happiness, well-being, health, peace of mind, prosperity. And so when our concern becomes more expansive in that type of sense, then really it's as if the heart kind of turns inside out, and we feel a new kind of way of expansiveness in our sense of living, in our way of living. But again, we just have to start where we are and take care of ourselves from wherever we are, because of course fundamental to this and to developing the types of habits that are going to cause us, the types of mental, you could think of like mental pattern, or kind of like a mental, groove, a groove within the psyche in which our thoughts, feelings, emotions, and desires move through. Is it making sense? Like, think of it as if like those habits that are really deep, that are really, those kind of fundamental habits we may have. In some cases, they may be more negative habits, meaning they cause us less happiness and health, or they may be positive habits, using that positive in the sense that it causes more happiness and health. And so we want to create deeper grooves with positive habits, and we want to decrease that groove. We want to take the momentum away little by little. You can't do it all at once. You can only do what you can currently do. And then if we try to do more than that, or we wish we could do more than that, it's counterproductive. But it's rather finding contentment in how we are just as we are right now, even if we are suffering right now. That there's a certain type of content that can be found even in our moments of tremendous suffering. And that's a type of contentment that arises out of a deep trust for just allowing things to be just as they are, and experiencing the intelligence within that. It's a field of love. It's really among the highest acts of self-love, to just allow everything to be as it is, the mind in its patterns, the emotion in its turbulence, the despair, the difficulty, the sadness, the joy, the whatever. And when we decrease the habit of trying to push away the suffering and trying to grab a hold of the pleasure and the ease, then paradoxically, in a certain sense, we gain more ease in our life. We allow things to flow more like water. And that, I think, is something to practice right now. And what I mean by that is that the current circumstances globally that we find ourselves within is globally, of course, because the energy of Saturn, so to speak, not when we say Saturn from the astrological perspective. Okay, yes, the planet in the heavens is one expression of that archetypal energy, Saturn, but it's also the experience of our own minds and our own energy system. The Muladhara chakra is the planet Saturn, the earth element, our sense of security, our sense of foundation, and also fear. And so really, when we find that there's this kind of Saturnian energy that seems to be kind of bearing down on us, which it has been in my experience, and I know most others that I interact with. When we find that energy bearing down on us, which is totally natural, by the way, it happens every 20 years. Saturn and Jupiter come into this great conjunction that they'll be doing on December the 21st, this year, the winter solstice day, in the constellation of Capricorn. Now, it hasn't happened to this total of a conjunction and this in this constellation, and particularly on the winter solstice day, in many hundreds of years, and I don't even know when the last time it would have happened on the winter solstice day. So it's a very unique moment in time and a very transformative moment in time. It's not a bad thing. It's also not a good thing. It's a thing. And what will make that thing positive or negative ultimately in our lives is how we work with the energy or get worked by the energy. Just like a big wave that's coming if you're a surfer. And a big wave comes, to a skilled surfer, that's exciting. If I'm just a little bit brand new and a big wave comes, it's a little scary. Not sure about this. I'm going to swim underneath that one. But what I don't want to do is get pummeled by it. So we're all just navigating things the best we can. We don't have to know about the astrology, but it is helpful because it does help give us context into kind of the weather, the kind of subtle weather report, so to speak. And so then if there's challenging weather, it gives us the motivation and the wisdom to do some preparation. So that's why, in my opinion, this is a beautiful thing to be doing here tonight. And then 2 weeks from today, we have a total solar eclipse, and that's happening on December the 14th, and very early in the morning Pacific time. So I think it's like 7 a.m., 7:30 a.m. When are we starting? We're starting at 7 a.m., I believe, or 7:30 a.m., I can't remember, but we're going to announce that on Wednesday, if not sooner of this week. There's going to be another one of these events, just like today, but it's going to be during the actual peak of that total solar eclipse that's happening on December the 14th. And then, of course, 1 week right after that, we have the winter solstice, which in and of itself is always one of the most wonderful days to do meditation practice, to do Dharma practice, to really tune into what life is all about. It's a joyous time. It's a joyful time. It's the birth of light. And so that, and even this year, it's a joyful time. But it's a joyful time within this bigger tone that's happening all, normally we're kind of all each in a little different, sometimes very different space. Right now, this is really connecting all of us together in a certain fundamental way. So the joyful birth of light, the winter solstice day, where the days start to become longer again. So there's always that kind of shift. It's a between moment. And so when we're, as people, yogis, in other words, those who are really, the central pivot of the life is really the cultivation of a greater love, cultivation of a great peace and happiness by really training the mind, working with our life force, and even though we're householders, we don't say that, oh, I have a business, I have a family, that I don't have time for all that. No, it's just what we choose to do with our time, number one. And then number two, it's how we just choose to approach things. Like, from what angle are we going to come from? I'm an entrepreneur. I have a business. I have a family, and I have a son. All the responsibilities of the householder. So what it's saying is, in this type of kind of outlook or disposition, is that when we really start to tune in to what our lives are all about and what this all is, remembering that we're only here for a very limited amount of time. Even if we were to live a long life, 100 years, it's still a very limited amount of time. And the older we get, the more we recognize that. It's like, wow, how did that happen? I was just 20. Now I'm 40. How's that happening? I turned 40 on the winter solstice day this year with this grand conjunction. What does that mean? I don't know. I'm just a student here, and a student of life, and someone, just like all of us, that is in the courtship of experiencing great love, great joy. And so when we find ourselves in a moment like these, where there's more constriction on us than usual, this holiday season, maybe we aren't able to do the things that we've been able to do in previous years. Maybe we're not able to see some of the people we love seeing during the holiday season, especially. That's definitely the case in our family. And so you go, okay, all right, that's not happening this time. Thank you, Lord. Because when this becomes, enters more of like I don't want to say religious, but when it kind of takes the expression of a certain type of specific dharma, say like if you were a Christian, then this kind of great intelligence of the universe gets personified through that lens. And that's a beautiful thing. And I believe really one of the and it's not for everyone. Everyone has their own way of kind of like getting inside of things and relating to life in a way that helps them. But I think one of the things it does do is when there is some sort of like when these kind of these most wonderful archetypes of consciousness and of the heart become personified, it brings the energy into the heart. It turns into I think it can help a love affair, as opposed to it being just more of like philosophical thing. That it's becoming like a thing, a courtship of the heart, a journey of the heart. And today is the full moon, where it's also, we celebrate the birthday of the great 15th century sage of northern India, Guru Nanak. So happy Guru Purab to everyone who is who is in the spirit of that today, this evening. And I want to begin our session. We're going to tune in a moment. We're going to do some exercises, move our bodies. And we're going to do some, I think, really wonderful practices that just, I don't know about all y'all, but I'm finding this stuff so helpful right now. I'm always find it helpful. It's just like right now, everything is like just boom right here. And you find your resilience. And you get to see, you get to learn about yourself. Sometimes we don't have the opportunity to learn about ourselves in the same way. And I know a lot of us are thinking and feeling like, I've learned enough about myself for now. I would like to I just need some like a release valve. And that's also the glory of meditation, is it gives you that release valve where it kind of like takes the energy, equilibrium, neutralization. Everything seems to recalibrate somehow when that life force concentrates in the center of the organism. The mind comes into its vivid, intuitive clarity. Then when we bring that energy into the heart and we arouse the deeper heart of love, the deep heart of compassion, bodhicitta, it turns what is in one moment horrible into another moment glorious, maybe still horrible too in a certain way, but kind of gloriously painful. And it brings us into that very subtle yet very real space of the subtle heart, where it's not this neediness within our love, but it's like an overflowing cup. And so that's my goal for the evening, is to, along with all of us, journey into that space, or at least endeavor to do so. Endeavor to just, be very present with yourself, listening to the sound of the breath, enjoying the music, working with the body. Anything you need to modify, please do modify. Be very, compassionate to your own body and compassionate to your own mind, especially if you're newer to all this. If you're newer to all this, don't worry about all the details. If it resonates with you, if you find this is after experiencing an event like tonight, if it resonates with you, then you can learn all the more kind of like fundamentals and things like that. For tonight, we're all together. It's a special night. It's a very auspicious night to do good meditation practice. And so let's just try to be less in our heads, more in our bodies, and work with our life force. Pay attention to our mind. Allow things to be more as they are, endeavoring to do that in an act of love. In an act of service to your own sense of beingness and vitality. Okay, so I want us to begin. I wanted to read the 20th. I pulled this from this deck of Nanak's Japji. I was thinking about it being the birthday of the emergence of Nanak, and I pulled shuffled the deck, pulled the card. Here's what came out. I'll read the English translation. When the hands, the feet, the whole body becomes dirty, water washes it all away. When clothes are stained with urine, soap and water remove the stain. But when our own psyches are polluted with the dirt that comes from the errors and pain we inflict on others, only our true selves can restore us to our original color. The virtuous, the unvirtuous, what a person says does not determine who they are. It is the actions we perform over and over again that get recorded and go along with us. What seeds I sow, that food I have to eat. Nanak, in the will of the divine, we come and we go. Okay, let's start to deepen those very more blissful dharmic grooves of the psyche. It's what we do over again and again and again. And that's why he starts out the whole thing with jap, repeat, chant, use the mantra, smriti, or it's remembrance. It's remembering what is real, what is important. That's what these wonderful mantras help do for us. They keep the psyche tuned in to the really wonderful frequencies, the subtle frequency of life. So take the hands, make a little heat, and bring the palms into the prayer pose with the knuckles into the sternum. Chest is lifted, shoulders are released. Lift through the root lock. That's just lifting through the pelvic floor a bit. Perineum area. Chest, sternum is slightly lifted. Chin is ever so slightly in. Shoulder blades are released down. Eyes closed down. Breath comes in through the nose. Suspend it in for a moment. And through the nose it goes out. Exhale. Do that again. Inhale deep. Suspend the breath. Release the shoulders. Lift up through the perineum. Draw the gaze, third eye. Exhale. Inhale deeply. Suspend the breath. Lifting up through the pelvic floor a little. Dropping the shoulders, chest. Suspending the breath, suspending the mind. Exhale. Inhale. And just keep doing that for a few moments. Inhaling deeply, suspending the breath. That's keeping the breath in, relaxing the torso, upper body. There's a nice pressure on the palms, though. It's not like some ritual empty, but as if you're actually encouraging the kind of life force of the body to concentrate, to center itself, as if it's encouraging the hemispheres of the brain to balance, to coordinate, as if it's encouraging the glands to secrete in a healthy way. Using the breath, putting your attention on the life force, the energy that is carried via the breath. And in a moment, we'll use the sound vibrating like a tuning fork. Namo. And then we'll take a sip in through the mouth. And Guru Dev Namo. Inhale. Guru Dev Namo. Guru Dev Namo. All right, let's start moving the body. Bring your hands, come up onto your hands and knees. We'll start cat-cow. You're going to be inhaling. Head is coming up. And exhaling, head is coming down. And create whatever rhythm that feels good to you right now. Maybe it's a little chilly where you are, like it is here. And so it'll probably start, nice and slowly. But then, all the while, it's like there's this real kind of intention of like kind of loosening up, making the spine more supple, but doing that by really breathing deeply into the body. Through the nose, the breath is coming. And it's starting to really breathe deeply into the body. Thanks to everyone who joined, who is also over on the Zoom room. It's so great to see everybody over there. Okay, now deepen the breathing. It's like that was an applause for the Zoom room. Sometimes things just line up. And now if you can, if it feels comfortable, pick up the pace a touch. Otherwise, just focus on really deeply breathing. "45 seconds. Continue." Continue. Inhale, the head is up. And exhale, the head is down. Push the breath out. Good. And just for a moment, relax into a child's pose. The butt comes to the heels. Palms can come together. Forehead down to the earth. And relax your jaw, relax your mind, relax your tongue, relax your upper body. Just for a few moments, just really endeavor to disengage the mind, the body, relax. The practice of allowing ourselves to be a good vessel for whatever part of life is wishing to kind of move through us. What is life wishing to express? What are we learning? How are we growing? When we get uncomfortable, that becomes our question. Without really some need to know the answer, it's just trusting that whatever it is that is here, I'll allow it to be my teacher. Come sitting up on the heels. Hands are on my lap. You can also do all these, or many of these, in a chair too. if for those of you who are uncomfortable sitting on the floor. Hands are on the lap. And you're gonna be inhaling, lifting through your chest. And exhaling back. Chin is slightly in, lifting through your sternum. Your core is engaged. It's as if your like kind of sit bones are pushing down as the chest lifts up on the inhale. And the exhale back, and then just creating a smooth rhythm. A little deeper with the breathing though. Close your eyes. And inhale deep. Suspend the breath for a moment. And exhale. Come sitting back, easy pose. The tongue will be out. Hands Gyan Mudra, index finger to the thumb, palms facing up on the knees, chest lifted. And it's a panting like a lion's breath. It's like a keep going. Sut, 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 sut. Wonderful for the immune strength, immune intelligence. Keep your heart wide open. Chin slightly in. Draw the gaze, third eye, where the root of the nose meets the skull bone, between the two eyebrows. And you try to really stick your tongue out. To where it puts a bit of a stretch on the underside of the tongue. And then you breathe in that way. Almost there. A little bit of this on the daily. Keep the respiratory system healthy. Keep the immune system stronger. The pranic system benefited. How could it not be? Keep the mind calm as you continue. Relaxed mind. Rhythmic breath. Keep going.
Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you.
Keep going.
So nice to see you.
10 seconds. Inhale deeply through the nose. Now press the underside of your tongue against the upper palate of your mouth. And squeeze the spine. And then through the nose, exhale. And 2 more times, inhale deep. And good. Suspend the breath. Squeeze the spine, under tongue, roof of the mouth. And third eye gaze. And exhale. And then inhale deep. Suspend the breath. Under tongue, roof of the mouth. Exhale. Beautiful. Take your arms up like this and then shake, 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 shake. Come on. Like vigorously shake. Really whatever stagnant energy may be there, move it around. Shake, shake, shake. Don't make your rings fly across the room. Especially in the winter, they sometimes will do that. Keep shaking. Almost there. Beautiful. Relax. Good. Have a sip of water, tea. This winter solstice, we're doing something we've never done before. You know what I mean? Like, really, the only thing I want to be doing, main thing, not the only thing, I still want to watch some shows, you know, and still want to have fun, and still, you know, enjoy other aspects of life. But the primary thing, which is typical for me anyways, but especially right now, is I want to be hanging out in this space. You know, I want to be like in this sound current, with these meditative states, with these people. And so the 18th through the 21st, Friday evening, ending on the winter solstice day, we're gonna do even the morning of the winter solstice day during the peak moment of the grand conjunction. And it's not that you have to like be totally zoned in at the peak moments, but it sure is cool if you have the wherewithal to. And I sure think it's like it's a beautiful way of experiencing life, and really, you know, leveraging our energy. So from that Friday evening, all day Saturday, all day Sunday, and into the winter solstice day on Monday, we're doing a special like worldwide retreat event, winter solstice activation, and I'm very much looking forward to it. I spent all weekend just kind of writing about it, just, you know, some of the way I bring out whatever it's going to be is through that. You know, I usually, honestly, I put this album on, this my favorite, Simrit Live, and I play it from the beginning to the end, and I go into the meditative zone and I just write, and that's how I spent the weekend. And I am very I'm just inspired about what's happening. Hands are gonna be on your ankles or shins. Chin is tucked in, chest is lifted, and we're gonna do again spinal flex. Like inhale forward, exhale back. Let sat nam, sat nam, sat nam, sat nam. Eyes closed down, meditative gaze, third eye. Deeper the breathing with the rhythm. If the rhythm's too quick, go slower, but find your own rhythm. Deeper the breathing. Even deeper the breathing. Really move the prana with the breath. Now deep inhale. Suspend the breath. Lift through the pelvic floor, rectum, sex organ, navel, and relax the gaze into the third eye area. Be very still. Exhale. Suspension of the mind, suspension of the heart, the breath. It's kind of being receptive to the subtle energy of nature. Prithviha, that's the domain of the earth tattva, the earth element. Akashaha, it's giving it's kind of like giving praise. It's harmonization with the elements. That's harmonization with your own body. That's harmonization with your own mind. You know, it's not some really religious dogma in its essence. It's practicality. Guru Ram Das, Akasha, the heaven, the field of the ether, the subtle kind of wonderful etheric realms. Guru Ram Das, the royal space of the heart, of love. Hands are on your shoulders. Root lock is in. Inhaling left, exhaling right. Like find a little rhythm, find a momentum, creating a pranic groove, a breath rhythm, body, mind groove. "15 seconds. And to the center, deeply inhale. Suspend the breath, lift the root lock, pelvic floor, navel in. Meditate the third eye gaze, where the root of the nose meets your skull bone, the equalizing center. And exhale, relax. The neutralizing center of the psyche. We know it famously as the third eye, or the Ajna chakra. The two-petaled lotus, posterior and anterior pituitary gland. The positively and negatively charged kind of governors. It helps us to bring the kind of the two eyes into one eye. The two ears into one ear. The two minds into one mind. Positive, negative, neutralization, equilibrium, meditative mind, intuitive flow. So by bringing one's concentration, with some practice, you can learn to sustain it there for more prolonged periods of time in a very relaxed way. It's a loving experience. It's called recalibration of the psyche, body, mind, prana. Hands are on your knees, chest is lifted, chin is in. You're gonna inhale, shoulders up, exhale, release, like this.
like a skilled martial artist, working to kind of cultivate core vitality. Using the breath to take control of the mind, so it may be the servant of the spirit. So we are less enslaved to its old non-productive momentums and patterns. Use the breath. Sat, 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 sat. Lift through the pelvic floor, heart lifted. Use the breath, meditative gaze. Every exhale, shoulder blades just release, tension, stress, relieved. Inhale, squeeze up and tighten, squeeze out the tension. Beautiful exhale. Very nice. Good. Stretch the legs wide in a V shape. And you're gonna inhale, flex the feet and the toes and bring the energy into your toes. Lift up so you're not too much on your butt, like be on your sit bones. Lift through your chest. Inhale to the center. Turn to the left and exhale down. And then inhale, lift up. Keep the energy in your feet. Exhale down, fold, lead with the navel and then the heart. Don't worry about the head getting down low. Use the breath every inhale. Fill your lungs. Cultivating core vitality. The energy of Dharma requires vitality. It's born of vitality. True vitality, not just kind of stamina, spiritual vitality, mental and physical vitality. And inhale to the center, and then exhale, fold forward, just very gently for a moment. Lift through the chest, tuck through the chin, relax the groin area, but bring the energy into the feet. Breathe long, slow and deep. Really work with your breath. Really make it deep, long. It can be like an ujjayi type breathing where you hear it in the back of the throat. On the exhale in particularly. As you exhale, draw your diaphragm in, use your navel. And then relax, shake your legs out, and come standing. Your hands will be in the Jnana Mudra. Chest is lifted, shoulders back. Eyes open, pick a single point to concentrate on. Doesn't matter what it is. And then you're going to inhale up, exhale down, like a sat, na, sat, na. Inhale, knees up to hip level as the arms come up. And exhale down, alternating the legs. Sat, na, like a yogi's march. Work with your breath, work with the body, get the blood to move by using those big muscles of the upper parts of the legs.
We
Keep going.
You can be at ease in your lonely pain, in the realm of nothing. Oh, it is some pride and below. It is some dark. Realm of nothing. We return to nothing. We return to nothing. Return to nothing. In the realm of nothing.
Now inhale deep. And exhale. Good job. Now bring the legs out. Yep, like that. And then make the legs strong. And then bring the hands out to the side and bring your energy into your fingers. So tense your fingers and your hands. And also bring energy into your legs. Engage your legs and your feet. Okay, and from this position, here's your inhale. Then you exhale down like so, move with your navel, and then use your core to help you lift. And as you inhale, you deeply inhale. So really, yes, there's a stretch to it, but the heart of this exercise is core vitality. Every inhale, fill the lungs, and draw in your root to help you lift. Fill the body with prana. Fill the lungs with the breath.
It is some pride in below. It is some dark. In the realm of nothing. We return to nothing. We return to nothing. Return to nothing. In the realm of nothing.
Keep going. Okay, inhale up. Good, and then exhale, relax. Beautiful. And come back down to sitting. Have some water. Okay. So I want you to try just this very kind of like slow rhythm breath of fire. It's through the nose. You can use this Gyan Mudra, chest lifted. Inhale deep through the nose. And so, because it's slower, it helps you kind of even, it's a little deeper. And you can still equalize the inhale and the exhale. It doesn't need to be aggressive. It's engaged, but not aggressive. Relaxed mind, relaxed face. If it's your first time, that'll take a little work. But these are our endeavors.
Still we're thinking
ladies, if you're on your moon period or pregnant, then turn the breath into a long, slow, and deep breath instead of a breath of fire. Okay, inhale deep and exhale. Often it's the case in these kind of bigger free events that we put on, like tonight. Sometimes I won't do too many of, like, you know, I'll do my best to keep it simple. It's all simple, but you know, something that is going to work for a really large group of people with many different, you know, experience levels with all of this. Generally speaking, it meets you where you're at. Tonight, though, I do, you know, I have that real sense that it would be good for us to work our navel point. And I think we'll feel good. And just do your best. You know, there's no like thing like you got to do it perfect or you got to do it the whole time. It's just kind of like tuning into your own body, working with it. Sure, making yourself a little uncomfortable, because how else do you strengthen if you don't hit your comfort zones? But that's different than like risking an injury or anything, or overdoing it. So you got to use your own you know, body intelligence, and everyone has that. Your own intuitive sense, everyone has that. You have that. Part of it is just owning it and just trusting your inner sense. And sometimes that will make us relax. Sometimes that will make us kind of dig in deeper. And that's the beauty of it. Okay? So we're going to come onto the back. And this will make the meditation we're going to do in just a bit just that much more wonderful. Feet are together. It's a stretch pose. You can have your hands underneath your butt to support your lower back, or the hands will be by the side if you're doing the practice regularly, building the lower body and the navel point. So first you're going to take a deep inhale, and Leah can demonstrate. She'll come into the stretch pose. This is our good friend Leah, and then in that you'll be breath of fire. You try to keep the chest lifted just like she's doing. Lower back is able to stay onto the floor. And that's how it is. Good? And you can see, like, all right, it's stretch pose is a thing, you know? It's one of my favorites. And, you know, if it's not every day, it's almost every day, because I've just found it so helpful. Vitality, good energy, good life force, good kind of engine, the third center. All right, everyone take an inhale. Fully exhale. Come into the posture, your deepest inhale, and use the navel. Every exhale, the navel comes in, the abdomen just under the belly button, and using the breath to build the prana.
Where is the purity? Where is the purity in the labyrinth of falsehood? Where is the purity? Where is the purity in the labyrinth of falsehood?
Now inhale deeply. Draw that navel in, then rectum, sex organ, up and in. Deep, 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 deep. And then relax, exhale. Relax. Fully relax. Let go.
Feel as though your magnetic field just kind of melts into the field of the Earth's magnetism. Kind of blends and dwells, nurturing. Even if you were on a 50-foot high rise, the energy of the earth element is still there. Beautiful. Now, feet back together, round number 2. Okay. Again, you can, if it strains your low back, hands can be under your butt, otherwise by the side. Eyes on the toes. Take a full deep inhalation. And take a full deep exhalation. Inhale, come into the posture. Use the navel. Use the breath of fire. Move the energy. Use the navel. Five seconds. Inhale deep. Draw the navel in. Lift through the perineum, rectum, sex organ. Up and in. Draw the navel, relax. Beautiful. And really relax for a moment. Do that thing again where you really let your arms out some, let your legs out. It's a very surrendered feeling. When life is hard, surrender to its flow, and then we'll find its medicine there. Relax the mind. Let the life force just kind of animate all the tissue layers and in the cells of the body. Allowing the mind to rest in its natural equilibrium. It's not some special effect, it's returning to the natural source of equilibrium. Take another deep breath in. Bring the feet together. Round number 3. This is the final round. Take a deep inhalation. Fully exhale. Come into stretch pose. Breath of fire. Feet and head 6 to 12 inches up. Support your low back if that is what you feels really appropriate for you to do. Extend out through your toes and the crown. Lift through your chest. Seconds. Hold the posture, inhale deep. Root lock is in, navel is deep. Draw the navel so it shakes deep. And exhale, relax. Amazing. Let the arms out. See if you can feel a feeling of joy. Not a joy that depends on pleasure, but a joy that rests on a really deep love. Creativity, inspiration, gratitude.
wisdom. Hug the knees to the chest. And bring the nose up to the knees. Release the shoulder blades down. Otherwise, squeeze up tight. Exhale. Inhale deep. Rhythm the breath. Breath of fire. Use the navel. Balance the digestive system. Work the inner subtle fire. Not the hot, raging fire, but the subtle fire that gives wisdom, luminosity, grace. With the rhythm, sat, 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 sat. Make the navel join the percussion section. Exactly. Rest as you need to. 10 seconds. And inhale deep and then squeeze up and relax. Relax all the way. It's perfect. It's beautiful. We just have friends, our friends and family demonstrating. Like tonight, Leah's here. Sometimes it's Charlotte. Sometimes it's other folks. And just because to help, give a good guidance, but that doesn't mean you're going to look like whoever is demoing. And sometimes, they need to modify or disengage. And so it's just supposed to be examples of real humans. And of course, we want to show all right, here's what we're working towards. But at the same time, I think as equally that we want to, be where each of us are at. Okay? So, hug the knees back to the chest. And you're going to begin rocking and rolling. Inhale as you're rocking forward. Exhale as you're rocking back. Come up to easy pose. Your hands are going to be with your thumbs out and your fingers tucked in. Okay? Chest is lifted. Arms out to 60 degrees. Chest lifted, shoulders release. Meditative gaze. Inhale deep. And extend out through your arms and release through the shoulders. Chest, heart center wide open. Meditative gaze. Deep rhythm.
In love,
Where the root of the nose meets the skull bone, third eye. There goes the gaze. Where attention goes, prana flows. Expansive sense of heart. Building the energy system. Strengthening the electromagnetic field. At a certain point, you don't want it to keep going. At that time, if you can, Deepen the rhythm, sustaining the posture. It'll tap a deeper vitality. 35 seconds. Inhale. Bring the thumb tips together. Open the fingers wide. Bring all the energy into your fingers. Tight like steel. Spread them wide. Stretch through the spine. Release the shoulders. Lift through the pelvic floor. Stretch. Stretch up. And exhale. Relax. Relax into a meditative space. Allow the breath to flow very naturally. Very still with the body and mind. Sense of equilibrium. Sense of aligning one's energy with the natural intelligence, the natural energy of life. With our spinal system and the subtle system that is its correlate being like a kind of central channel, some type of antenna-like device, organism. The mind and all its facets. Allowing everything to be simply as it is. And inhale. And exhale. And even if we do that a little bit more often, it helps us, and it helps us navigate life. It helps us, make the most out of whatever situation we're encountering. And so we're going to be doing this next exercise. And it's a type of meditation in itself. And then we're gonna, from there, and it's very active, aerobic in a certain way. And then from there, you'll take a little bit of a relaxation. And then from there, we're gonna come into this wonderful transporting, in a good way, transporting meaning transporting us from kind of wherever we may be really having a difficult time, and transporting us into a space where we can very much be wherever we're at and do so with love and vitality. And so we'll rest between these two meditations. The gong will play, and really this is a beautiful time to really, over the next 20 to 30 minutes to really just gather your energy here. Be fully present here and allow whatever else is going on in our lives that just kind of knowing that whatever else is going on in our lives,
will benefit from us concentrating on ourselves right now. And so the exercise many of you are familiar with is called Breath of 10. And what we're going to be doing is you're going to be inhaling in 5 strokes and then exhaling in 5 strokes. So I'm just getting the music I want for this first. Where is it? Just a sec. So you're going to be so 5 like that, and then 5 through the O-shaped mouth. I found it. Like that. Okay. And let me make sure I'm good to go. Here we go. So it'll be something like this. That 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you're moving as if it's building magnetism between the 2 hands. It's really, again, it's kind of like gathering, cultivating, building energy. There's a tension to the fingers. There's an engagement to the fingers and the hands, bringing your energy there. 5, your inhalation is in a 5-stroke rhythm through the nose. And your exhalation is in a 5-stroke rhythm through the puckered O-shaped mouth. And with every exhale, you use the navel. The navel comes in. Powerful little strokes. And then stay with it. And it'll hit a point now you'll feel like maybe you can't keep going. And maybe you can't. But at that time, breathe deeper. You will, as the kind of chakras come into rhythm, which is what this Kriya very much helps us to experience. The fundamental centers of the body and the mind. The spheres of wisdom. Just like that. Concentrate on the breath and try not to break the rhythm and the energy between the 2 hands. lift up through your pelvic floor as you continue, using the energy of the core to help move it into the heart center, to strengthen the deeper vitality, the electromagnetism, the prana. It's hard work, but it's good work. You may not be able to do it all. You may. But even if you can't do everything with the body, if you can keep doing the breath, do that. If you feel unable to do that at this moment, relax and enjoy the current, the sound current, the vibe. Enjoying life, even in its difficult moments. Use the breath. The more you do it, the easier it becomes. The whole upper body involved. Move those lymph glands in the armpits and the upper chest. The whole body, upper body dance with the rhythm, with the groove, with the pocket.
Inhale deep and take the hands under your cheekbones. Lift through the root lock, the core. Press gently into the face, under the cheekbones. Exhale. Hands against your center chest, right on top of the left. Lift your chest. Inhale. Press the chest against the hands and the hands into the heart center, chest. Lift through your root lock. Suspend the breath. Deeply press. Exhale. All the fingers in below your belly button into the abdomen, the navel. Inhale. Lift the perineum, root lock. Press the navel into the fingers, fingers into the navel. Exhale. Relax. Relax onto your backs. Really deeply relax.
Inhale. Exhale. Move the fingers and toes. Rotate the wrists and ankles. Rub the palms, make some heat. Rub the soles of the feet, make some heat. Cat stretch to each side. Hug the knees to the chest and rock and roll to come on up. Both hands will be in this Mahan Gyan Mudra, they call, where Jupiter, which is like your antenna for it, is the index. Saturn is the middle finger, the great expanding planet, the great expanding energy or sphere of wisdom, Jupiter, the great constricting and disciplining, slows us down. When Saturn's really the tone, the moment, the time, things won't happen as quick as we want them to. So the lesson becomes to not want them to. Of course, that's difficult when all our momentum is in that forward direction. But it's the practice of not so much anticipating the future, not ruminating on the past, as the great Tibetan yogi Patrul Rinpoche put it, not cogitating with the present, disturbing it, allowing mind, things to be just as they are. And then he said, beyond that, there's not a damn thing. It became famously known as Patrul's not a damn thing teaching. You're gonna hold that Jupiter and Saturn, but with the thumb holds Mercury and Sun, pinky and ring down. On your left hand, you touch the mudra, index middle, to the heart center of your chest. With the right hand, it's like in an oath posture, like your palm facing forward at the height of your ear. Your chest is lifted up, your shoulders are dropped down. There's a good engagement in the core. Not to where it's tense, but to where you can sit up with some sense of stature, some sense of magnetism. And now you begin to move your breath through the nose, long, slow, and deep. Keeping the posture as still as possible. And you meditate that you're bringing your energy on the inhale up into the third eye area, forehead. And when you exhale, you meditate, bringing the energy down to the heart center where your fingers touch. Breathing like that, that's your point of concentration for the meditation. Eyes closed, the third eye. Holding the body in the posture, perfectly still. Keep going. Have the breath touch that entire area from the fourth to the sixth chakra, inhaling it up into the third eye, between the two eyebrows, exhaling it down into the heart center, where your fingers touch. body becomes like an antenna, the body, the mind, and its energy field. Try to also keep your left elbow at the height of your heart center. It's just a feeling. Concentrating on the breath coming up into the frontal lobe. And then on the exhale, concentrating on the breath and thus the prana coming down into the heart center. That's pavana. Pavana is the carrier of the prana, the precious breath. Para para, beyond the beyond. Just a few more minutes, see if you can stay very still, moving the breath from the frontal lobe, third eye, to the heart center, like a courtship. Use the breath. Deeply. Stay in the posture, suspend the breath in, and be very still. Equilibrium, suspension of the mind and the body, emptied. Hold this position, exhale. Inhale and draw the gaze to the third eye. Lift through the root lock, suspend the breath. Emptied.
like a good vessel for all that is good and love, vitality and kindness. Hold the position, exhale. Inhale. Lift the root line, third eye. Expansive heart, empty. Exhale, relax. Inhale. Take your arms up and shake a little. Bring yourself back into the body. You know? Very good. That's the beauty of it. You can go into the space, recalibrate everything, and then right into life. You know? Not avoiding anything in particular. All this music is Simrit for those we're all just meeting. Simrit. And I want to thank her and their crew so much for providing the sound current that we have. And this that we're meditating to is a new Simrit record that has not yet been released, sometime, I think, in coming days. So just check her out and follow her for that. I want to tune in with you about the next couple of weeks. Again, next week, which is December the 4th, 2 weeks, I'm sorry, because the solar eclipse is always 2 weeks away from the lunar eclipse. So we have this total solar eclipse happening on December the 14th. We'll send you the info on how to be a part of that. That's another free event, and kind of like this, but these are shorter. They're super helpful, but it's just a different thing. They do in a certain fundamental way pale in comparison to what we'll be doing from December the 18th through the 21st for our special winter solstice experience. I know many of you have attended some of our kind of multi-day virtual events, and they're really quite special. They're definitely my favorite things we've done all year. And it's just when you have that, and it's like, so we start Friday evening, December the 18th, and finish again on the afternoon of December the 21st. Of course, we have people in, over 60 countries around the world, so not everyone's on all at the same time zone. And so everything's recorded, and then you can just do it on your time zone, or do it live with us, whichever makes the most sense for you. But what we're going to be doing during it, there's 7 sessions total. It'll start Friday evening, session 1, and this is a journey. The whole weekend will be a journey through the 7 spheres of wisdom, as I'm calling them here. And each session of this event will travel through a sphere, an archetype, a facet of the human experience. It is a tuning of the human vehicle, one session at a time. But when we're able to kind of carve out that time, then we can really make some sort of substantial progress. We can really kind of create a real positive shift in our lives. And so session 1 is called the wisdom of patience. It's Saturn. It's the earth element. It's the Muladhara chakra. It's the energy of the yamas, of constriction that gives us discipline. It's practicality. It's the wisdom of practicality. Session 2 is called the wisdom of devotion, which is Jupiter, that's Saturday morning, the 19th. The water element, the Swadhisthana, second chakra, our creativity. It's expansion, it's prosperity, it's our visionary archetype. Session 3 is the wisdom of discipline. Saturday afternoon with live music with Simrit and Salif, who and all the music. But that music we were using when Simrit and Salif, when we were doing Breath of 10, that was the recording from the last immersion we did. And that was just created in that space. And I'm sure there'll be something new and beautiful and wonderful that lives on created in this space.
But kind of being a part of it when these things emerge is really special and really just really beautiful, inspiring, uplifting experiences. 2 sessions a day on Saturday and Sunday, 1 on Friday evening, and I'll tell you about Monday morning, which is the winter solstice, in just a moment. Wisdom of discipline is Mars. It's the fire element. It's the Manipura chakra, energy, self-confidence, focus. Then the wisdom of love, session 4. And that is Venus, the air element, the Anahata chakra, the heart center, inspiration, love of truth. And you can read all about, this is what I was up to over the weekend. I was really kind of pulling this out, kind of, downloading my best sense of what it is that is going to kind of. But also when you give something a theme like this and we're able to tune in using really, really simple but real and profound, subtle kind of energetics, archetypes, principles, then you can give a tone to that. And that helps to kind of focus the energy, bring the things out. And it's a great system of really kind of tuning the whole human vehicle, all the different facets of our life without being too complicated about it, because life can be endlessly complicated when it goes into that intellectual realm. But when we bring it into more of this poetic realm, the energy of Mars, the energy of Venus, session 5, the energy of Mercury, the ether element, Vishuddha chakra, your word, expression, intelligence, buddhi, the Buddha. So that's called the wisdom of the word, is session number 5. Session 6 is called the wisdom of clarity. It's the moon, the medulla oblongata, or where the consciousness and the spinal column and the brain kind of unite and ignite. It's super ether, it's soma, it's bliss. It's when consciousness is digested at its super subtle level. The yogis call that soma. It's the bliss, or like an ecstasy of reality and consciousness and love. Session 7 is the wisdom of purpose, sun, the sun, light, the ajna, the crown, spiritual vitality, positive spirit. But you see, session 6 is the early morning. It starts at 5 a.m. Pacific on that Monday. It's the only early morning session. All the other sessions start at the first session on Saturday and Sunday, 9:30 a.m. Pacific. And then the second session, you see it all here. I don't need to go over the details. But I do encourage you to read, if this is resonating and this is something you think you may want to attend, and it may be realistic for you to attend. I would encourage you to read through the sessions and see if this feels like something that you would like to do. You may just find it to be an incredible way to spend a few days during this time. And it's just a few days. It's Friday evening, Saturday 2 sessions, Sunday 2 sessions, and then the Monday morning. And if you join it, you'll have access to the classes forever. So part of what we wanted to do this evening, in addition to having, a beautiful experience together that was hopefully helpful, and we feel kind of, that's this is what I'm about, it connects us to our natural energy. All the information is here, and you can read about it. But the announcement I have, in which the team got together today, and what they did was they created an early bird pricing for this week. It's our way of working to inspire you to join and to not procrastinate if you feel the call to join. If you don't, you don't. So no big deal. It's not even something to concern ourselves with. But if you're considering it, the regular price is $498 for the experience. But there's an early bird pricing, where does it end? From now till December 7th, if you join, for $199. And there's also a payment plan of $114. So if you join on the page now, or between now and the 7th of December, you can either do the full price, which ends up being a little cheaper ultimately, or you can do the first payment now and the second payment 30 days from now. And that's how it works. All the details are there. You are invited. It's not a thing that if I was like, wow, this was hard, there's no way I could do like multiple days of this. But my experience is that's actually not how it works. If you can do this event, I think that you can do, if you were able to like even just get through here and you're still here, you were able to modify or not have to modify anything along the way. Ultimately, this stuff is not about, how well we're able to do all the exercises. Of course, those are helpful tools, but this is an exploration of life and of what we are and what this all is and what is the deeper calling of our life. And that's we start to find that by experiencing our deeper nature and to have some sort of methodology that helps us to kind of get inside, some sort of structure that allows our intuition to flow. That's kind of what a Dharma practice is. Something that gives us, enough discipline, which is what Saturn wants of us, that energy of life. Enough discipline so that our life force isn't leaking in unnecessary or unuseful directions. And when we're able to do that, then we get this kind of concentration of life force in our central channels, central nervous system, that really gives the brain more power, gives the mind gives us more capacity to kind of work with the mind in useful ways. If we wish to have more altruistic, compassionate thoughts, feelings, emotions, and desires, we can very much cultivate those pathways and those kind of psychological grooves, so to speak. And that's what this is about. And I think it's going to be really cool and really fun. And it's not, uptight. Anyone who's done this stuff with us, it's not uptight, kind of rigid stuff. It really, some of it is. We're going to work. We're going to keep our bodies healthy and move and exercise and meditate and do all that stuff and explore and study the Dharma, the teachings. But we're also just we're going to have an enjoyment and tune into the energy of our lives and the energy of the times and experience its medicine. And so I want to personally invite you to join that experience, and to also join in 2 weeks for the big total solar eclipse. So in just a moment, we're gonna kind of seal the class here, but in just a moment after that, I'm gonna go over and hang out in the Zoom room with everyone for a little while. So if you want to come over and connect and say hi, maybe, or just listen in, please feel free to join over to the Zoom room, and we'll hang out for a little bit tonight and connect. We do this after many of our classes in the Life Force Academy, and it's been one of the beautiful things of this year. I know. We've all had our share of Zoom meetings, but just the connecting with a global community in really interesting ways. I always enjoy it very much. So bring the hands into the prayer pose. And we'll seal our class, and giving thanks for our lives, for our loved ones, our family, friends, and also all beings, all suffering beings. May they be happy. May they be free of suffering. May we ourselves be happy, free of suffering. And may that same wish extend outward.
May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on.
Satnam. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, everybody. Thanks so much. Thank you, Leah, for holding it down for us. Thank you, Aki Leva, our superb videographer, and our whole team, Joshua, Jen, Charlotte, Madison, Lucy. Oh my gosh, I might forget somebody. Thank you to everyone. There's a lot of work that makes these things happen and a lot of preparing. And I invite you all to the Winter Solstice event. Everything's there. It just takes a moment to register if you want to join in and just do it. And also, you're most welcome to, I meant to mention this earlier, to invite, if there's someone else somewhere in the world that's a friend that or family member that you think would love to do this, please feel free to extend that offer to them and share a special experience together. All right, lots of love, everyone. Thanks so much.
Hey, greetings, friends. This is Jai Dave. You know, since ancient times, winter solstice time has always been very important. To those who are attuned to the natural world, it's undeniable. We popularly know about it as the shortest day of the year, least amount of sunlight. But really, mystically speaking, and to me, much more importantly, it signifies and really kind of activates what we could think of as the birth of light. It's when the days actually, once again, begin to become longer. And nature's intelligence speaks in this type of metaphor. So when you meet the winter solstice time of the year, it's always an important time to reset and to renew. There's a reason why the holidays are around this time of the year. But naturally speaking, they're not meant for shopping as our primary activity, but it's a very sacred time. It is a time for joy, however, and it's a time of peace. But this year is something different. It's something very, very special and fascinating and mysterious. This year, there's a grand conjunction taking place on the winter solstice day. Winter solstice, summer solstice, from the yogic point of view, two of the most important days of the year. And definitely, if you're going to pick one day or one kind of time to really meditate, to really reset for the next 6 months ahead, that would be the time. This year, you have a grand conjunction where Jupiter and Saturn, when Jupiter and Saturn conjoin, astrologers and astronomers refer to it as the grand conjunction, when those two major planets, Jupiter, the expanding energy of our lives, Saturn, the constricting energy of our lives. So when these two come together, it does create a big transformation in all of our lives, both individually and collectively. And that's, I think, part of what we've been experiencing. And that comes to its kind of climax on December the 21st. So here we are at the end of an extraordinary year with really an extraordinary finale to this year. What a challenge it's been. And really the stage is set for us to do something of great importance and of great value. How are we going to use these times? That's the only question left. The question isn't going to be, is it going to be difficult? It's difficult. It's full of kind of tension. That's the natural energy of things right now. The question now becomes, are you going to utilize that tension to produce greater energy and vitality and confidence and clarity and love and purpose and even prosperity in your life? Or are we going to just kind of like sulk in it and go negative about it and get swept away in polarization and emotional reactivity? So we're going to do something really special this year, something we've never done before. Starting on Friday evening, December the 18th, and then going throughout the day on that Saturday, throughout the day on that Sunday, and then culminating on the winter solstice day with a global meditation during the Saturn-Jupiter grand conjunction on that shortest day of the year, on the birth of light, the winter solstice, where the sun rays hit us at just the right angle, poetically speaking, where we can go into those really wonderful states of awareness and consciousness, especially because we're going to work into it. We're going to lift our energy starting that December the 18th, and then all day on Saturday, and then all day on Sunday, and that means it's substantive enough in both time and technology. Technology being the tools that we're going to be using, the wisdom teachings of the yogis, the transporting and transformative and elevating practices of Kundalini Yoga, the just blissful music and just joyful experiences of connecting with ourselves and what we're all about and who we really are, and rise above the clutter and the superficial chatter, and really get to somewhere substantive that no matter how difficult the time may be, we know who we are, we know what our path is, we know how we serve, and we know how we love. That's what this winter solstice weekend activation retreat is all about. And I want to invite you to join in. All the information you need to know or may want to know is here on this page, and how much it costs to join in. I just think this is going to be an extraordinary event. We're going to work, we're going to meditate, we're going to, work on our bodies, work on our minds, work on the emotional energy, but we're also going to have fun, and we're going to enjoy ourselves. And it's blissful doing these events. And it's exponentially more powerful when you have the opportunity to do a multi-day event, because it all just builds on each other. Normally, if it's like one class a week, and if you add up all those different classes to the same amount of time we're going to be in this retreat, it doesn't equal the same kind of transformative force, because when we're doing it and you're kind of immersed in it for, again, from that Friday evening through all the way through Monday afternoon on the winter solstice day, it has exponential effects. It's kind of paradigm leap type experiences. And furthermore, if you join this retreat, and of course you can do it from anywhere in the world. It's a virtual experience, but this is no Zoom room. This is beautifully produced, multi-sensory, beautiful video, high quality audio. We recommend hook it up to your best TV screen or whatever you have. Some good speakers if possible, but you can also do it on your iPad, even on your phone if you needed to. And in your bedroom with, the families out there, but you're in your room with your headphones on. And what a great thing to do, in my opinion, during these holiday times, and to really set us so we know that we're good. And no matter what comes our way, we still know we're good. And I really want to invite you to attend. Again, you can do it live, but if you can't do everything live, all the recordings will be there, so you can take it on your own time as well. And you'll have also lifetime access to these wonderful practices, teachings, and the music, the meditations. So please do join us for this very special winter solstice activation retreat, culminating with that incredible grand conjunction happening on the winter solstice day.
But you're wired somehow. You have a certain way of existing that is absolutely natural and skillful for you. You're talented in that way. It's how your heart expresses itself. It's how you get inside of love, and how love expresses itself uniquely through you.
If you have a mind, you have a mission.
If you have a mind,
You have a mission.
If you have a mind,
You have a mission.